Advanced image optimization for SEO using Adobe Photoshop. In this video session, I'm going to show you how you can truly optimize your images on your web pages. Before we begin, Google has image publishing guidelines as well that you may like to read through if you haven't done so already. Furthermore, Google is an image search engine. Whether people find you from Google image search, web search, YouTube, Facebook, and all this stuff, or other websites, Google tracks a lot of things on internet. Knowing that, optimizing our images is only going to better rank our web pages. Because a lot of people think that image search and web search, they are not related for your rankings. But the fact of the matter is, it actually is. So in this video session, we're going to take a sample image, which is this one here. And I'm going to walk you through exactly what I do for optimizing images. Now let's imagine this scenario. Let's say the keywords that I am interested in is how to SEO. Then should I be naming that image file as how to SEO as a file name? Absolutely not, because that would only be spamming. Image optimization is not about spamming. Image optimization is looking at an image and asking yourself, okay, everything starts with the image file name. So therefore, when you look at an image, what is that image about? What the contents of that image is. So once you figure that out, you can say, okay, you know what? That image, let's rename it Advanced Image Optimization for Google. I could even say intro image if I want. Make sense? So you can be flexible when you name your images, as long as you're describing the image contents beginning from the file name. Now I've said we'll be using Adobe Photoshop. If you don't have access to that, keep in mind you can right click on an image, go to properties, go to details, and here you can provide as much information related to that image that you'd like to optimize as possible using Windows program. So keep that in mind. So let's go and see how we can optimize this particular image now. Looking at the image, analyzing the contents, let's try to give more details about this image. And we do that through File, File Info, and here we have the tools necessary for us to get in there and start providing details. Now, document title, once again, you can be flexible at this stage as well. I'd like to always be as close to the image file name itself in the title of that image. Advanced Image Optimization for Google. So that's my title. Here, to speed the process up, let's copy. And first of all, we can paste that keyword in there. As a whole, we can do that. Then, let's look at the image and say to ourselves, okay, what else is on that image? In this example, I have image icon. So I can put that as the keyword as well. Make sense? That's very important. So we don't just stuff keywords in there because they are important to us. We put keywords in there because it's describing the contents of the image. So let's go and say author. Author can be your name or your business name and so on. Let's say RankYa SEO services. I can put that as an author. Title, okay, let's say SEO company. So I'm giving you different examples here. Or I can say, you know what, title of that author, just think of it as Mr., Mrs., and so on, right? The title in this example for a company, it can be the title of the company, whatever you're offering. For example, let's say you're a wedding photographer. If that's the case, you can say photographer. Make sense? Title of the author. So let's just say SEO specialist in this example. Now, we can grab the title and put it into description, no problems. And then say, okay, how can I describe this image now? I can say, you know what, advanced image optimization for Google features, or if it's an illustration, I can say illustrates, or if you're highlighting certain important graph data, for example, then we can say highlights. Makes sense? So you have that flexibility to describe that image. In this example, I can say image optimization for Google features a image icon I can say background contains text on green color. So now let's imagine a blind citizen looking at this image, as in a blind citizen visited our website, can't see the image, but if they read this description, now they can actually visualize what that image contains. So that's how you describe your images when optimizing for Google as well. Rating, it can be 4, 5, 3, depending on other images that you have. Description writer. In this example, I have written the description, so I can put that name in there. Copyright status for your own images. Copyright, all rights reserved. Copyright, symbol, copyright year, that you can do. The URL can be the URL information about the copyright. Let's put a sample URL in there just to show you. Now, if you're using Photoshop, keep in mind that you can actually export your settings so that you can use them for the rest of your images through pressing this link here. You can export it through this option here. Now let's go and take a look at Iptc. As you hover your mouse over certain elements, Adobe Photoshop CS5 in this example or CS6 version will show you tooltips explaining what certain elements that you can insert. You can go to this URL to include photo metadata. That's to do with structured data. Let's go to creative work. Let's look at Iptc. It's coming from here. Now this particular website is very important if you really want to optimize your images, okay? It can be overwhelming if you don't understand all this stuff, so let me try and simplify it. Now, you can insert metadata, which let's take a look. I think it was on this URL. as you can see, question and answers coming from Google Webmaster Central blog many years ago. It says, question, what happens to EXIF, XAMPP, and other metadata my images contain? And Google being Google, always talking in roundabout way by saying may, we may use any information we find to help our users find what they're looking for more easily. Additionally, information like EXIF data may be displayed in the right-hand sidebar. If it's going to display that, means it's going to be able to read that as well, correct? So knowing that, then it's obviously important to include this metadata information as well. So let's go back to the Photoshop address. You can put the address of your business. This is your contact details. Pretty straightforward. You fill all these details out. When the image was created, if you don't know it, you can leave that empty, because camera data may have that information attached to your images as well, okay? Now, filling this out, let's take a look. Okay, where are we? Need to go to tools. Let's go to genre, depending on which country you're living in. Okay, here we have the genre. What basically that means is, looking at the images, you can say, okay, you know what, it falls within certain category, right? In our example, let's take a look. Looking at this, it explains, actuality, the object contains the recording of an event. So if your image contains recording of an event, then you can grab that and place it in there. Let's imagine that your image, okay, from the scene. Okay, what else we can, for that particular image, I need to find the most appropriate one. Okay, let me put exclusive, because that actually makes the most appropriate sense. So that's what you do. You go in there and find the most appropriate genre, okay? Now the scene code is, let's go to scene codes. Here you do the same thing. If it's an image that contains view of a person from the side, then you say profile. If it's full length of a human, then you say it's full length. If it's a headshot, and so on, right? Common sense. In my example, I can say it's symbolic. Yes, I can say that. Yes, I can say it's a single because it's an object. Object being the image icon. Sublocation, so on. ISO code, I can say Great Britain, Australia, 3-letter ISO code, okay? Headline becomes the title, that's the headline. Where are we? Origin, we've got the headline in there. Yes, let's go back. Where was the headline? Yes, that was the headline. So we can paste that information in there. Subject code is also important. Let's go to subject. Okay, subject code. What is the subject of that image? You can see there's so many different subjects that you can choose related to the image that you're optimizing. Well, I can actually say arts in my example for that image. Okay, in this example, I can grab this code here, which is the subject code, because this particular image is to do with online. Job identifier, that's for your own self, perhaps say whatever you would like to say. Instructions to whoever may read that metadata. You can place whatever you'd like in there as well. Okay, that was for a client of mine. Instructions. Copyright holder must be referenced, and so on, right? Credit line, you can say credit source. Source is that's where it's coming from, perhaps, right? From my website it's found, and so on, right? Credit line created by, and so on. That's what you need to put. Credit auth, and so on, right? You can say all rights reserved, some rights reserved, depending on the image you're optimizing. So as you can see, Iptc, this information, you can place all this in here. That's to do with metadata, right? And so on. I'm going to keep this video short, or else we'll be here 20 hours. Extension, if the image is about a person and you know the name of it, then you place that in there. Image, you know, the person of the image. In my example, there is no person. But once again, you can say Asia Pacific for Australia, for example, wherever the world region is, to do with that image. You can further give details within these. Feature, if the image features an organization, perhaps you've taken an image of your team at your workplace, then you can place your featured organization details. It's an ABC company, located here, state, and so on, right? Very straightforward. And as you can see, some images may contain models. Then if you know their details, you place that in there. This is to do with administrative information. You may reference images with certain codes, you place that in there. Rights related, all rights reserved, identifier, where is the copyright information? The owner, copyright owner, licensor, you may give certain licenses out, then you provide that detail in there. So let's fly through. Date created, as I've said, if you don't know it, you leave it empty. But looking at camera data may show you date time the image was created. So you can place that date time in there. City, Melbourne, yes, we've got this in here. Urgency, let's put it normal. Camera, okay, some images may have animation, then it becomes, video data, so to speak, okay? Photoshop allows you to do that. That's why it's got in there. I'm not going to touch that because it's not rather to do with images per se. For this image, I can say World Wide Web is the category, supplementary categories, internet, web development, image optimization, or images, and so on. That's the category. And you have certain other elements here. History, you don't fill out. Advanced, it's all the advanced details that is all attached to that particular image, which Google can understand. Raw data is what Google understands, okay? So at the end of the day, as I've taken you step by step, this is how you advance, optimize your images. Because once you do this, provide all that additional details, let's go and grab this keyword here. Let's go to Google image guidelines. Yes, we know that. Let's go to Google image search just to show you. Paste it in there. Let's search Google images. Voila. As you can see, it knows that because all that information is attached. There is a tool on the internet called Jeffrey. Mr. Jeffrey created this great image EXIF data viewer, whereby you can place the URL, view image information. As you can see, All this information is to do with EXIF. So you can use this URL and this tool to see if your images are optimized. Keep in mind, if you're operating a YouTube channel or creating images to be shared anywhere on internet, follow the same principles. To demonstrate the point, let's go and let's search YouTube Optimization Tips 2016 in Google image search. You see, that's one of the trade secrets for RankYa, ranking the videos almost instantly. Because I attach all what I've shown you to my YouTube thumbnails as well. At the end of the day, I thank you very much for learning with me. And if you benefited from this video session, please give me a like and share this video. And I thank you once again for spreading the word about RankYa YouTube channel.